Luis is here, and we're going to do listener questions. You can send us an email, a letter, or a recorded voicemail of yourself asking the question to fuckerypodcast@gmail.com. That's FCKRY podcast@gmail.com. If you record yourself, don't forget to use a fake name, or you're just going to be hanging out there. All right. Let's get to our first question. This is more of a comment, but I thought it was nice to include. Jamie wrote in saying, hey, I got tickets last week to see your show at Yamava Casino in Highland, California. Always loved you on SNL. Was looking for your stand-up on YouTube and found your podcast. Fuck, I love you. I can't wait to see you. So Leslie will be in Yamava next week, or you'll have listened to this by now.
Yeah, and I need to know what your picture is so I can have security. Make sure that you don't come fucking near me. And then why does this place keep changing? They tell me Palm Springs, then they tell me where the fuck is this place?
Highland.
Oh, well, Sonny knows where it is. That's for damn
I hope
sure.
your driver knows where it is, because I ain't going. I'm not going.
Jamie, thank you.
Thank you very much, Jamie. Okay, here we go. River from Wisconsin writes, I'm a huge comedy fan. You always bring up The Cellar in New York City, and I was wondering what are some of your favorite comedy venues to perform at? Love the show. Before you answer that, Leslie, have you ever been to a stand-up comedy show?
Yeah.
I have been to stand-up comedy shows, but I haven't been to one of yours, and I really would like to.
Really? Who have you seen?
I've seen a bunch of people.
Have you seen John Leguizamo perform live?
I have not. I
He's
would love
great
to.
live.
Great.
Fucking awesome. He's actually
he's so funny.
Fucking good.
Yeah,
And a great
I
guy.
saw George Lopez one time in Denver.
George Lopez. I like George Lopez.
Yeah, I like watching the Latino
love
comedians.
George, yeah.
There's a lot of good ones, but I gotta go check you out.
Oh my God, you got to see both of us because we're fucking crazy.
I think
you fucking nuts.
later in the year, it's probably we'll end up in Denver somewhere.
Yeah. Well, I'll always travel.
You travel, yeah. You're everywhere.
Yeah, we
You guys
it's
are
fun.
everywhere. Now you're touring. I know that.
Yeah.
I saw your.
He's gonna be opening up for me because we're gonna take it together. But
We'll do
I'm
it together.
telling you, you would love my show.
Do you have a
awesome.
favorite place to perform? I never asked you that.
Okay, don't laugh because you'll laugh if I say
No,
this.
sometimes it's a weird place that the room is great.
Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Michigan. We're going, I think.
Grand Rapids
Royal
is
Oak.
one of my favorite fucking places to perform because it just seems every time I go there, they're so happy and they're just so part of the audience. They always have the biggest laugh. I always eat really great. And I love Grand Rapids. I know that's the dumbest thing I've
I know
ever seen.
great shows could pop up anywhere. We were in
Yeah.
Milwaukee. I think I loved Milwaukee. I was like, damn, I didn't know if I was going to love Milwaukee so
You never
much.
know.
Yeah, you
It's
never
weird.
know.
It's weird.
But you
I
should
done
go to
played-
Puerto Rico one time. You think you
Yeah,
would?
I actually want to go to Puerto Rico, but every time I want to go to Puerto Rico, it gets
Something goes-
destroyed
Oh,
before I
man.
can go. And
Now
I
it's
was
nice. They
did
rebuilt it, and they got a nice venues there too. I think you will love it.
Old San Juan intact.
All San Juan is looking better than ever, man. They rebuilt that.
Did
and
they?
it's-
Are the pigeons still there? Because I'm not going
pigeons
unless
are-
there's 7 billion pigeons,
the
in that
are
park.
still there, rocking it.
Why is
You
it-
can
They got
buy the
so many
pigeons.
pigeons.
They'll sell you the fucking peas, and you can feed them. It's fucking wild.
They have so many pigeons there. If you don't like pigeons, you do not go to Old San Juan.
Well, you know, Vico from Our Flag Means Death
Yeah.
is from Puerto Rico.
Oh, he
and
is?
she was like, anytime you want to go, I'll go with you.
There you go.
Yeah, it's
I
hot
love
as
her.
hell though. You gotta.
Yeah,
Really?
it's
It's
hot.
hot. Do y'all have air condition?
We
Yeah.
have it where we have it, but not outside.
Damn it.
All right. I love the Cellar. That my home club is always the best place to perform.
Cellar. Oh, you love the Cellar.
I do.
Well,
I always love it. Everybody loves their home club.
If you're in LA, I always like going to the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
You know, Comedy Store is my home. It's like the fame. It's like fame for comics.
Yeah. But we've got everywhere. We go to, it seems like everywhere we go, most of the shows are good. A lot of these
Now,
venues.
I
Remember
mean-
there was this one theater where there was like, the guy had like a pinball game room, like right under the stage.
Yeah, it was creepy.
And then the theater was really old. I think it was Chicago. It was like so weird. Some of these are weird venues. Like
They're all different.
They're all haunted. All right. Dominique from South Carolina asks, hey, Leslie and Lenny, I love the show. I'll be graduating this year and I can't wait to start college next fall. I have a lot of interests, but not really a passion. And for that reason, I'll be going in as undecided. Any advice on how to discover a passion? Would love to choose a major that would not only help me in a career, but help discover a passion. Any advice? Well, let me just start by saying, that's why the first year you usually take like some general courses and then maybe something sparks in you to do that, whether it's theater and it's something you always wanted to take, you know, like an elective or something like that. You never know what's going to spark this. For Leslie, she was doing one thing and then out of the blue, the career chose her.
7 majors. I went through them in a course of 6 months. I changed my major 6 times. I came in, I wanted to be a computer scientist because my dad was an electronic engineer. That shit was so fucking boring. I was like, there's no way I'm spending my motherfucking life with numbers like that, okay? And then I took microeconomics and I was like, oh, hell no. So I got up out of that. So I was like, okay, you like to talk, you like to argue, let's be a lawyer. Fuck it. Well, I started taking, and the books, first of all, the books were so expensive. And then I took this class, and this dude was like, yeah, so we'll be doing 25 cases a day. A day, motherfucker? Do you know how long it took me to read one fucking case? Like one case. 'Cause, dude, I would fall asleep in the class. I would just be like, I'm putting my head down. And he was like, you can't put your head down. No, fuck this. So I got out of that. Then I said, okay, so maybe you like to build things. So I was like, I was going to be some kind of build. Nope. Had to take wood shop. Motherfucker.
It's a lot of fucking work.
He did literally an example on this drill and almost cut his finger. And I was like,
nope.
If a professional, they're not going to let me touch those fucking machines. So I this is what I always tell people. If you don't know what to do with your life, go to college, because I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. And eventually what ended up happening was I ended up taking a communications class. And I went up and I had to do a 3-minute speech I didn't prepare for. And I just copied Whoopi Goldberg's thing where she had the sweatshirt on her hair. And the teacher came up to me after and she was like, I'm going to go ahead and pass you in this class, but you should seek more classes like this because you're really good as far as like communicating.
Yeah. There you go.
And that's what happened. I ended up going to Colorado State because I was still playing basketball and met Danita and didn't know that I was funny. I just thought that people liked being around me because I was just kind of silly.
Yeah.
I didn't think of myself as a comedian. I thought of Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy and Whoopi Goldberg as comedians. I thought of myself as just a silly ass bitch, right? And she was like, I die laughing every time I'm with you. I was getting invited to parties. I didn't understand why I was getting invited to parties. And then I would be sitting there and then everybody turn around and look at me and I'd be like, what the fuck y'all looking at? And they would just bust out. And I was just like, this is crazy. So she entered me into this contest. And so, and people think I'll be lying, but as soon as I touched the mic, I knew I was going to do that the rest of my life.
Baby. And you were at CSU in Fort Collins, weren't you?
I was at Chapman College first in California. Chapman College, I went there for 2 years. And then my coach went to Colorado State, so he brought me with him. And that's where I discovered in Colorado State.
And yeah, because my girlfriend told me that you were there, and she used to go to that college as well. And she told me, it's like, ask her what it was like, because that is a very white town.
When I say what happened was when I got there, because I didn't understand Colorado at all. First of all, I couldn't breathe for the first 2 months. The altitude is and we were working out in that shit, but I will tell you, once I did, I was in shape like a motherfucker. My lungs was great. But it's a town called Fort Collins, and they have a black student union, like one floor in a big building on the college.
3 guys.
Which I'm sure those are all the black people in town. Matter of fact, I had a Jerry curl at the time, and a white girl was doing my Jerry curl. Yeah, so it was an interesting.
Fort Collins is different. I went to Costco on a Saturday at Fort Collins. I was the blackest that I could get there. I was like,
and they still really white out there.
They're gonna cancel that membership.
But you know what? I'm not gonna lie. Unless I just wasn't going to the right place and I was a student, I didn't face too much racism there.
Yeah, they're nice people. They're
colleges are notoriously liberal, so that's helpful.
I didn't face too many.
It's the real world when you get out.
You know what I ran into? A lot of white people who had never actually seen a black person. When I played on the basketball team, there was this girl named Sharon, and she would always stare at me, and I would just be like, Sharon, why the fuck are you always staring at me? And she was like, you're going to be so mad at me. And I was like, what? She was like, we don't have no black people in our town. I was like, bitch, that's fucking impossible. She was like, I've seen black people on TV. I've seen them in movies and stuff, but I've never, ever actually seen a black person.
Like a real one.
And when she told me that, I turned that girl black. I brought her to every black thing I can think of. I said, I want you to meet all the blacks. I want you to meet the light blacks, the dark blacks, the complex blacks. You're going to go back to your town and you're going to tell them, I know a bunch of black motherfuckers.
What? Do you have pictures?
Yeah.
I just want to take a picture.
Yes, because I really do believe that a lot of white people are not racist. They're just very uneducated about other races.
It's lack of exposure. Man.
Yeah.
So that's why New York, I'd say the greatest thing you can do, they should send every college student around the country. You have to live in New York for 3 months.
Yeah.
And ride the subway. No cars, no subway. You got to ride. Here's your Metro card and just sit there and figure it out.
Yeah,
and then you'll be way less racist when you go back.
You really will. And stop believing shows like Friends and Sex and the City that didn't have no motherfucking black people in it. That shit used to piss me off because I lived in New York and I was like, Friends, you motherfuckers don't even have a black cab driver? The fuck? Like, not even, like, what the fuck? You ain't been to a bodega? I know there's a bodega uptown, bitch.
They always have that cat. They have the cat in the fucking bread.
Exactly. And then Samantha, as much as she fucked, you didn't fuck a brother. You didn't go up to Brownsville and get some of that big dick. Get the fuck out of here. I hope that answered your question.
No, it didn't. It probably,
Dominique.
just try out things when you get to college.
Everything. Baby. You young.
Meet people, take a bunch of classes.
Yeah.
Anything in your head
You
that you
young.
thought, hey, I might be interested in that, from TV to poli-sci. You never know.
You're young. You have time. Don't let nobody tell you to rush and you got to be famous or successful by 26. Take your motherfucking time. Yep. Your 20s is to fuck up. 30s, you fix what you did in your 20s.
Yeah,
there you go, baby. There you go.
Luis, you have any advice for college?
Just same thing, and also be aware of that fucking debt you're gonna get into because it's not cheap.
Exactly.
I fucking went into college. I was a mechanic when I started it, and then I switched to law, and then I saw my friends like fucking working for BMW making $150,000 a year with no college debt, and I was making half of that, fucking $130,000 in. I'm like, I picked the wrong fucking career.
Yeah.
Be aware of that shit, baby. That shit is not gonna go away.
Real shit,
Smoking Joe canceled 20, but I still got like 100 to go. So
exactly. And dude, the day that I paid, and I didn't even finish college, okay, and I still had I started off with $11,000 that turned it to $21,000. Wow. And when I started at SNL, my whole plan was to get out, just clear all my shit up.
Yep.
And I was sending my check. I would get paid every week. I took one check and just sent it to them every week. And when they sent me that letter saying, your student loan is now paid off, motherfucker, you got to know that I broke dance in my motherfucking apartment. I was like, I don't owe them shit.
I will fucking cry.
Shit.
I will put that shit in a frame above me on fucking TV. Look at that motherfucker every day.
Well, that's it. Thanks. Remember to send your questions and comments and anything to fuckerypodcast@gmail.com.